Hey everyone, welcome to the channel. This is your girl Orshire, and today I just wanted to talk about like my concerns with the animated indie scene as I see it. Disclaimer: this is not a hate video. This is not a crapping on anyone video. This is not pointing fingers and names and saying anybody's work is bad. I respect everybody's effort and hard work on their pilots, and I absolutely want to continue to see more as a audience member and as a creator too, because I think it's very inspiring to see somebody take their concept and really fully realize it into something that people can genuinely enjoy. So this is definitely not a hate video, but this is just kind of my mild little 2 cents criticism on what I've seen as an audience member and what I would like to just honestly see more as a audience member, because I feel like there's been this epidemic of like putting pilot next to these people's really beautiful proofs of concepts, and then there's this expectation that, oh well, I need more funding to keep making this thing, which is, we all know you definitely do need funding, but the problem to me is that you'll always need funding to fund your episodes, and I think there's just such a lack of emphasis on telling the story and giving people a really good taste of your story first before you start expecting people to just throw money at you. Because let's be real, I think people need to be genuinely sold on your idea as a whole before they just throw money. The very rare few creators that just make something and people just love, those are the people who are going to get most of the Kickstarter money. Unfortunately, it's not going to be the little creator who makes something solid and cool and people like it, but are they like chomping at the bit to like see more? Maybe, maybe not, but on average, very few people are going to get like that big funding and really big push to actually make their big series come to life. And the rest of the little people, I think, just really got to tell the story. I think people really want to see, at least for me, I really want to see more of the story. I like beautiful animation, of course. I think anybody does. I get that people want to make a really great first impression, but to me, your series isn't a series if you only have one episode, and the only episode is that one pilot. And I think a lot of people got to start really being honest about the fact that I think their pilot is really more of just a really beautiful proof of concept. And I really hate that I'm seeing a lot of clutter of all these little pilots hinting at a bigger series or a longer form series, but we really only ever just see the pilot and nothing really ever comes out of said pilot. So a thing I would like to see more people do instead, if you're going to do pilots or an animated series or some sort of continual series of things, I say people should do short films. Make a short series of like films, as opposed to trying to make like a genuine, fully fledged, big body of work. You know, if you have like a lot of little ideas for your characters to do, but you don't really have like this big overarching story, or something is just not fully formed, maybe just do a couple short films. Like, make it a series of shorts. I think that could be a way better way of like actually telling us some more about the characters, but without maybe the pressure of having to tell a really overarching story and, you know, perform and put something out that like blows people away. You know, you can keep kind of drip feeding us, the audience, your story, as opposed to, or even just more fun ideas about the characters, as opposed to, oh my god, I have to go sit down, you know, I have to get money for a Kickstarter, then I have to fund it, then I have to build it all up, I have to get all the people together, I have to make it all beautiful, the animations will be perfect. Then, you know, you know, 3 years have gone by and we're all kind of sitting around like, are we ever gonna see more of this? Like, it's great, but are we gonna see more? Are we gonna get to see more of the characters? That's just it's a crapshoot when that happens, and it sucks. So I say do a series of short films. A series that does this well and that I did like seeing was this series called Mall Wizard. I am going to credit the creator, so, you know, put a pin in it. But Mall Wizard is a good example of this, where the person has just, this creator has just been able to take this kind of idea and just do a lot of mini shorts about this character. There's no, emphasis on trying to tell an overarching story. There's no obsession with trying to make everything beautiful. It is just this character, and it's a series of shorts about this character. And I think that's a really good alternative for somebody who wants to do more of like a series of things, but doesn't want to have to be pressured and put into a box of like, oh my God, I have to make this pilot and I have to fund it. I have to figure out how to make it into this overarching big story that people will make theories about. Like, there's no pressure in that. And I think that's perfectly fine, and I think we should see more of that, at least if it means you can tell more of your character's story. Another alternative to making a just clean, beautiful, fully animated thing, which is hard to do, is do animatics. You got your pilot, you made a really good proof of concept. Great, it's beautiful. Do animatics. If you cannot find every little cent of funding to get your series out there, do an animatic series of animatics. Maybe do like 3 or 4 episodes, and they're just really beautiful animatics. There's this really beautiful animatic, and I again put a pin in it. I'm going to credit the person, and I'm going to show what I'm talking about. But it is so beautiful. It's called Charmante, and it is just exactly what I'm talking about when I mean a beautiful animatic. You just have the voice actors, that's all you need, and you can maybe get a couple people to help you clean up a really nice animatic, but it's not fully animated, it's not some gorgeously animated thing, but it is, you can still tell what's happening through the fact that it's an animatic. And one series that has done this well so far, and like I said, I see that the person is working on another episode, so I'm not really going to rag on them not having any extra episodes yet. But another series that does this really great and is really inspiring is Pretty Please, I Don't Want to Be a Magical Girl. And I like that there's not a pressure to make it a fully realized thing. It is just like getting it out there, getting the story out there. And it's mostly animatic. And it's gorgeous, and it works, and it does exactly what it needs to do. And I think a lot more people need to do more like that, where yeah, it's not fully animated, but hey, if it tells a good story and it's interesting and it's solid enough where you can understand what's going on, I don't see why you can't just do an animatic. So those are kind of some options I think more people should try. I think there just needs to be more of an emphasis on telling stories as opposed to trying to have the most beautiful pilot, which I think after a certain point it just becomes a really good proof of concept. Because if it's not more than 1 episode, to me, it's not a series of anything. It's just a proof of concept. So I just think there's just this big epidemic. People put pilot and hope that they get the big buzz of, oh, well, it's a pilot, so there might be another series or episode going on, and it gets people excited. And then you wait year, 2 years, 3 years, and then you get really nothing out of it. So you just sit back and you're like, well, why should I keep caring about these pilots if they're not really going to actually continue? So that's really my kind of 2 cents. I'm not going to sit here and ramble too long, but that's just kind of what I think. That was just what I've noticed in the indie animation scene, and I'm just hoping that there's a bigger change to not feel so pressured to have something beautiful out the gate. Like, I get first impressions. I'm not crapping on anyone who really wants to have a nice pilot, but like I said, I really think the story needs to come a little more to the forefront first. Give people a little bit more to chew on and understand with your characters. Introduce some mystery so that people get excited and say, oh wow, there really is something actually going on here, as opposed to, oh, I gotta have a beautiful pilot, which can only get you but so far. Like, it's just, yeah, it's nice, but like if you don't have the series to back it up, it's just a really beautiful proof of concept. But that's really all I gotta say. Thank you guys for watching so much. Tell me what you think in the comments below on this topic. I think it's a very interesting topic because I think there's so much potential for really good things to come out of it, and I want to see more things come out of it. So I just want it to be better, but I think we need to get past beautiful pilots and proof of concepts, as I like to call it, and just tell more stories. So keep on creating, guys. Hopefully this was helpful, and please tune in for the next episode.